All right, so hello, Midnighters. This is Mel from MidnightTexas.com, and we are at Comic-Con in San Diego. We thought it would be fun since the show premieres the Monday after Comic-Con. We thought it would be fun to do our first roundtable as a video. And so we're going to do just kind of a quick discussion, maybe 15 minutes, talking about the premiere that you all will have just seen when this gets posted. We're going to start by talking a little bit about how, since this is based on a series of Charlene Harris's books, like True Blood was, which a lot of you are coming here from True Blood, we're just going to talk a little bit about how the series is comparing to the books. And Roz here hasn't read the books yet, but Leah and Lisa both have, and I have, of course. So I just wanted to kind of start it off by saying that I thought I think it's a really good actualization of the words that were on the page, and it seems like it seems like they're really following it almost to the letter, but it's not boring. It doesn't feel like I've been here before. What did you ladies think?
You know, I actually did not like the book. I know. I don't know. I don't want to compare to True Blood because that's what we're trying not to do, but I liked True Blood and I thought it would be more in that vein because it was supernatural things. And I don't know, it didn't feel quite like that, but I did like the show. I really do like the show. I thought it was framed really well. The pictures are great. The cast is good. They all have great chemistry. It all seemed really great. Did I say great already? It all seems really great to me. Okay.
I loved the books. And I loved the show. The only thing for me that was a little surprising was there were a few things in the pilot and the second episode. I won't say. Wait, let me take a second so I don't spoil. That we found out much quicker. Like we found out in the pilot things that we might not have known about until like the second book. Right. So that was a little surprising, but I think it was a good thing. I really liked the show. Like Leah said, the cast, I think the cast is great.
Yeah. That's true. They sped up some of the timetable on a few things that, like you said, there's some things like about our resident angel, that we don't find out until considerably later in the book series, which I haven't decided. I think it's okay. I think I'm okay with it. I was a little miffed when we were watching the previews and we saw it right there, saw his wings right there. But now that I've seen the first couple of episodes, I think I'm all right with that. But let's talk about the cast, because it really is a phenomenal cast. That's one of the things that really struck me about the pilot, was how well the characters and the setting were established almost from the beginning. It felt like these people had known each other forever. I mean, and the place had, Midnight had been there forever. It felt lived in. All of the characters felt lived in. And I wonder if that's because it is from a book series, and so they had so much to work with already. What did you think about that?
I don't know. Having not read the books, I think it's really easy to want to immerse yourself in the characters in the pilot, and you need to get drawn in. So you need that kind of gritty, tough feeling of weird and creepy and spooky. And I think that's really easily established with that cold open scene with the reading and the dead husband not wanting her to move on. That's a great way to kind of draw you in and get you to feel what the show is about. And then that drive to Midnight is really a good way of like establishing some more things. And then just seeing everybody kind of hanging out in the one street, kind of watching him move in, is a very good way of like, who is this new guy? Why is he here? And we all know that he's new, and we're all confused about what he's doing here. So that was really nice for someone who's never read the books to kind of jump in and say, okay, here's what the world is. All of these people know each other, and they don't know him. So what is it about him?
As someone who hasn't read the books, did you feel the same, that these characters were really well established and the setting was?
No, I really did. The first time I watched it was at WonderCon, so I was the reporter linking that link to. I was texting her and tweeting her months in advance, but I watched this at WonderCon, and it was really interesting to watch it with a group of fans. So we were all interested, and the cast was there. And they all had great chemistry coming out. Like, I can't remember if they came out before we watched the pilot or after, but it's really nice at a place like WonderCon or a place like Comic-Con to be able to see the cast right before, after you've watched their show. And I think the cast, that's a really easy way to help bring you into, is to see, oh, these are people, and they may not look like their characters right now, but they're just as invested in their characters as we are, even after 45 minutes.
Yeah, I love it. Go ahead.
So, Roz, I wanted to know, for someone who didn't read the books, that opening scene with Manfred in the hotel, did you think he was like a male prostitute, or did you know what he was? I thought that was such a funny way to start the show, because I was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing?
It is really easy to watch that open and think, is he a hooker? You're supposed to. No. I think it's. I like that it's. Yeah. You're supposed to assume he's a hooker, or a male escort, or whatever we want to call him. That's like less offensive to people, to sex workers, because.
What I thought is, I guess that's what I didn't particularly care about for the book, is there wasn't as many funny parts as I thought there should be. Whereas they put humor into the pilot. The pilot is full of humor to counteract some of the creepier stuff that is going on in there.
Yes. For sure. So, that was very funny, and there are a lot of funny scenes, and I appreciate that as someone who's not great with gore. We're going to get to that in a minute, but I want to kind of stick with this whole concept of the cast being really close-knit. I know they filmed the entire series before it premiered. So they wrapped back in February. This has been done for months. They were on location in New Mexico, where they just, they weren't getting feedback from fans. It was kind of done in a vacuum, and also kind of in the middle of nowhere, where they had to become a family. They really did. And if you read some of the other interviews with the cast members, and I'm sure they'll talk about this on Saturday. We're filming on Wednesday, and Midnight will be at Comic-Con on Saturday. So we'll be doing interviews, and the panel will be then. I'm sure they'll talk about all of this, just kind of the process of building this community and this family while they were filming, and now bringing it to us. But I really want to talk about the casting too, because I feel like everybody is really well cast here. Somebody had asked us I think it was on our True Blood Facebook page, because I've been cross-posting from our Midnight Facebook page over to our True Blood Facebook page, and somebody said something about being surprised that Peter Mensah had been cast as Lemuel, because he's black and Lemuel is white in the books. And I was like, no, he's not. He's black in the books. And they were like, yeah, he is, and how much fun it is to fight on Facebook. So I went and I looked up, I pulled out my book, and I went and I found the character description. He's practically an albino. But somehow, in my head, reading the books, he was black. So that casting did not bother me at all. And then there's also been a little bit of criticism about Fiji not being quite as fluffy as she is in the books, which, I agree that it is nice to see women who look a little more like us on TV. But in this case, I feel like it was good casting. I feel like they picked the right person. And the way that they're dressing her is more like I would picture Fiji in the books, right? So she's not wearing like bodycon and stuff like that, like Ariel Krebel does. Right. Olivia that's her style, Mm-hmm. So I'm really okay with that. I like the cast. I like the cast. I think the cast is really good, and I think Lisa had some points on that too.
Yeah. I think they did a great job with casting. As a plus size sexy myself, it is always nice to see different sizes of all shapes represented on television. But I agree with Mel in this case. I think I think the casting for Fiji was great, and Peter Mensah is perfect. And I did know that in the books, in my head, he was white. So when I saw the trailer, I thought, whoa, that was such a great choice. Like, I just didn't see it. And then once I saw it, I was like, he's perfect. I can't imagine anyone else playing that part. And the chemistry between him and Ariel Kebble is just, it's undeniable. They're so good together. So I really think they did a great job with the casting for everyone, even down to Madonna. Like, I thought she was perfect. So, yeah, I want to know more about her, too.
Okay. Anybody else have something to talk about with casting? Not so much? Okay. All right, so another thing that really stood out to me from the first couple of episodes is how creepy the show is for a network TV series. Those of you who are coming to us from our True Blood fan site and listen to the podcast that Liz and I would do, you know that I'm not good with creepy and with blood, and that I watched a lot of the series like this. And you all rightfully advised me not to watch The Walking Dead, so thank you for that. And so it really surprised me the way that the dead people are depicted, especially we now know that Aubrey has been murdered and she was in the water for 2 weeks. And they decided to go with that. They decided to run with that, with the special effects. And I had a couple of moments where I had to be like, no, I can't watch this. I will listen so I know what's happening, but I can't watch this. But it really surprised me for a network show, not only that they went there, but that it was really well done. Yeah. The quality was really, really great. So did you have something?
Yeah, I think I came to this. I watched Supernatural. I gave up, but I think if Supernatural can pull off creepy dead people and new iterations of a vampire and how those things look, then it's really easy for someplace like NBC to say, oh yeah, this is a thing we can do, and it doesn't feel overused or trite, because people don't really look at the CW as being high quality television, and so I think. Yeah, it depends on the show. Do we know? So that so that there's another network taking on something kind of supernatural is refreshing, because I think until this point it's a thing that I associate with the CW or cable.
Sure. Yeah. I would agree with that assessment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Angel.
Right. It's actually those graphics that got my daughter to watch, because I was watching because I thought she'd want to watch. She has a list of things she doesn't do, and sci-fi is one of them. She does not do sci-fi, history, spirits. So this is not the show for her, right? So I'm watching by myself, and she comes in, and Amanda's dead, and stuff is coming out of her mouth, and I'm watching with, kind of like this, and she's like, oh, what's that? And I'm trying to explain. She's like, yeah, just rewind it. Let's watch it again. And so we had to start at the beginning so that she could watch the whole thing based on how good the graphics were on an NBC show.
Nice.
Yeah. So that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Anything else to add here?
I think that was a good choice for the show, for it to be so visual, because in the books, it wasn't that descriptive. You can imagine when you found out that, but you also found out that she died much later in the book. It wasn't right away. So I think I like the creepy. So I was excited when I saw. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna go there on NBC. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah. And I think it's a nice choice for a summer show too. Mm-hmm. It's it's late. You get the creepy crawlies. It's still light outside. So.
There's fireflies coming in and
It's
out.
balmy summer breezes. Yeah. So those are the two main things that stood out for me, was the characterization being so well established from the start, and that they were bringing that, that kind of level of creepiness isn't quite the right word. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here, but I think, you guys know what we're talking about. So I'm really excited to see what else they do with this and where they take this for the rest of the season. They've got 13 episodes to tell the story of book 1, which, if they get renewed for a second season, I assume they'll do, book 2 in season 2. I don't know how far they can go, because this is a trilogy. There's only 3 books for the Midnight series, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. The cast is great. The setting's great. We're looking forward to interacting with them a lot here at Comic-Con and telling you guys about it. Be sure to check the website, check Facebook, check Instagram, check Twitter. We've got a whole team of people here that will be posting things and interacting. There's a really cool, they did a takeover of a little restaurant here in the Gaslamp District, and we're going to be checking that out. We'll be in the press room, we'll be in the panel, and we'll be sharing all of that with you guys. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you next week when it will probably be a print Q&A, a print Q&A roundtable, but we just thought it would be fun to kind of kick the series off with that. So we will see you all on the website. Bye, Midnighters.